Hey, what's going on, everybody? Boilon here, back for another video on Raid Shadow Legends. Happy Saturday, and we have a whole host of new fusion events that are going to be kicking off this weekend. There is one particular event that I want to talk about that it was requested from a few of my clanmates to talk about, and I thought, I might as well make a video of it and put it up on my YouTube channel. The best ways to clear gear enhancement. So this went live this morning. I know it's nothing crazy, and some people could be sitting on stacks and hundreds of millions of silver like I am. I'm going to talk about how I got there. Also, ways to get silver, ways to clear this event a little bit quicker or a little bit easier, and the kinds of gear that I upgrade as well. When you're sorting through hundreds and hundreds of pieces of gear, what am I actually upgrading to clear this event? I'm not going around just randomly upgrading gear, but what I kind of look for in terms of my upgrades. We're going to be talking about that and more, and how you can do this a little bit more efficiently. Now, before we get started with the rest of the video, I do want to remind people that if you use the QR code in the top right hand of the screen, you will get Narma the Returned absolutely free on a brand new account or an alt account. You can get these three amazing epics too: Allure, Tagore, and Ruella at accounts level 10, 20, and 30. And don't forget to get this amazing Void Legendary Support Champion Tahanarak by using the promo code Desert Queen within the first 48 hours of a brand new account. Okay, let's get started with gear enhancement, right? So I think this is typically like for accounts 4775. This is usually where you need to get up to. Now, if you got a lot of silver, and you really need an epic, I don't normally go this far. Sometimes I just get there naturally if I'm upgrading things randomly for new characters. But so there's one really, really easy way and very tedious way to get points for gear enhancement if you're very tight on points. And that is to upgrade 5 and 6-star gear to level 4 and then sell it. Basically, all the dog crap gear that we're going to sell anyways. But before you do that, making sure that you rank them up to level 4 and then sell them. Now, I wonder, can I sort this by, like, I haven't actually upgraded them? I'm not sure if I can do that or not. But if I go through, like, all of my gear here, and I have, like, gear that's, like, maybe I'll hide my head for a minute, just so that you can see a little bit more here. But basically, some of this stuff I may or may not use. Like, I'm not even sure. Crit damage sets don't really use too much, but I could just sell it, right? Right. It cost me. You saw that it cost like what 9,750 to upgrade to 4, and then I could sell it. Now this is super tedious because there isn't any fast way to do this. You literally have to go to each piece, upgrade it for 10k, sell it, and you're still making a profit, right? This is gear that I maybe I should be taking a look at, but like definitely boots, right? That I probably won't be using if it's not a speed boot. Those are actually good sets, but by and large, I'm probably not going to use it. But that's my point: is that you could take all of these unleveled stuff, you could upgrade it to level 4 for 10k, and then you're getting 3 points every time. Now, is it tedious as all hell? Absolutely. And you can do this for 5-star gear, for all the 6-star gear. Take it to level 4, even if you're not going to use it, and then you could just or you could just sell it later, right? Don't sell it right now immediately. Just take every single piece of gear. This is maybe something that I would keep because of speed, but that's what I mean. Level 4. Unfortunately, there's no fast way to do this because Plarium does not want you to get basically points for free. If you were to sell this stuff, you're getting your net positive, right? So all the 6-star gear will get you to the 3 points. Now, if you wanted to take it to level 8, just for example, it's not going to be as cheap. It's going to be about another 47k. You could, however, sell it and you will more or less break even. You're down a little bit of silver, but not a ton, right? And if you do that 6-star 8 to 8, actually, it's not bad. You're getting a total of 13 points just for doing that, and you're not losing a ton of silver. So that can be pretty efficient as well. But again, does take time. Super tedious, whether it's for... You can see a big difference between 5-star at level 8 and 6-star at level 8. There's 13 points here for level 8, 7 points at 5-star. And it's more or less the same cost, right? So you want to kind of do this more with 6-star gear if you have it, rather than 5-star. But we can take, for example, and I'll show you this, just take this 5-star weapon, for example. Take this up to level 8. And this will give you cost about 35k. I can sell it for 71. Okay, for a weapon, you're net positive, right? So it really depends on the item. But as far as getting points per, I don't know, 1,000 silver or whatever metric per silver, you're going to get more value out of that from 6-star. Okay, so I just wanted to kind of point that out. This is a very cheap and easy way. Super tedious because it hurts the hand for you to do this like to level 4, level 8 for every single 5 and 6-star gear piece that you have. But if you were going to sell it anyways, this is an easy way for you to do that. Now, unfortunately, when I do my multi battles and stuff like that on dungeons, I do have this habit of selling some of my stuff in the auto. But there we go. I also have other stuff I need to sell. So making sure that you have silver. How do I get this much silver? Some people might ask before we look at what gear I tend to upgrade. So there's lots of ways. If you are really dire in your silver, I think the best way to fast farm it would be Spider's Den. Whatever the best that you can farm. For me, it's like hard Spider 10 if I was super desperate for it, but whatever the highest stage of spider that you can farm will get you higher ranked and higher rarity accessories, and those sell very well, right? They even rings, right? We can take a look at this. I have a 5-star purple ring here, and I could sell this for 55K. There's a 6-star purple ring, 79K. For amulets, just for example, a 5-star purple is 60K. A 6-star, I don't know, a 6-star legendary, I guess, is 130K. So these jump dramatically in terms of the price, and I think it's even more for banners. 70K for a 5-star purple, 6-star legendary, 150K. So a ton of silver if you need it, right? Just in general, if you want to farm it fast. It does require energy, of course, though. Now, where else am I picking up my silver? Well, obviously, just doing your daily content, right? That you're going to do, that you're going to get gear that you don't need. There's a couple of ways here. Let's start with Cursed City. So you may or may not be able to farm a lot of these, but anytime you're clearing boss nodes and you get gear and stuff like that, I'm able to sell that. If it's any blue piece, I tend to sell most blue gear pieces at this point because it's not an upgrade for me. So I'm just passively getting silver by clearing my daily Cursed City nodes, clearing some of the bosses, getting gear, and then selling that gear if it's not worth it to me. Grim Forest is also another great way, right? We're on a new rotation for Grim Forest. I meant to do a Grim Forest video here at the start of this, but I haven't had the time yet to do that. But as you get through Grim Forest, whether it's on hard or whether it's on normal, and you're encountering some of these bosses, you probably won't right away, but it may be a little bit later. I think they tend to be on the edges, basically, that you get these gear nodes. Yeah, I definitely think that they're on the edges of the map where you start to fight more bosses that give gear. Again, not all of the Mercurial gear is actually going to be worthwhile, so those are stuff that you can sell for additional silver as well. The other thing is Doom Tower, actually. So yeah, Doom Tower is actually resetting, like, pretty much. What I should be doing is I should be running my super raid again and getting more gear from the Magma Dragon for Fatal. But if you're super, super desperate, you can go into your artifact crafting, you can take a look at some of the gear that you have, and some of the crafting that you can do. Like, I can do 199 resilience pieces, 196 perception pieces, and I don't know, some other stuff here. I've typically, if you're sitting on a lot of 3 to 4-star crafting pieces, I would craft it and sell it, really, because you're probably not going to use it. 3 and 4-star gear is pretty weak. Even for, honestly, by the time you're like 4 weeks in, you're probably here only using 4 and 5-star gear, and probably 5-star plus. I made an alt account and I stopped using 4-star gear after like 2 weeks, honestly. So if you have a stack of this 3 to 4-star pieces that you can just craft up, I don't think I have this anymore because I think I've done it actually. I normally craft for CVC, for clan versus clan. So not specifically I do this for typically for silver, but just for the sake of the video, I can just do a craft of 10, right? And then I would sell most of this stuff. I hardly use resilience gear either. And so like this would be a lot of quick silver. 30,000, 46,000, right? I don't think I need any of this, another 50,000. So like a bulk of 10 of the top end would probably get you about 400k. Weapon, there we go. Actually, it has a speed of 6. I might keep that one. But by and large, like you can filter when you're crafting and stuff as well, just to make it easier. It's a pretty decent amount of silver, right? So if you're just crafting that, if you're really desperate, that's another way for you to pick up some as well. And that's going to cost you 100k, I guess, for 10. You'll probably, if you were to sell everything though, you would probably be net positive about 300 to 350k, depending on the rarity of the gear that you craft. So again, another quick way if you're super desperate to get additional silver. Now, gear enhancement typically takes about, I think, about 20 million silver to do on average. It's going to vary. It's also going to vary if you upgrade your accessories. So if case people didn't know, and I don't know if I have any characters that have level 12 accessories that I need to upgrade. Like I'm just kind of looking through my characters with maybe level 12 as an example. I guess we could do this for Predator. So for example, and I have a lot of silver anyways. And just to show you for the video, to go from level 12 to level 16 on a piece of accessory, any accessory, it is a lot more than it costs for a regular artifact. So we're going to show you right now. I'm going to show you right now that unless I get really lucky, there is some RNG or randomness to how much silver it costs for you to go from 12 to 16. But for accessories, it tends to cost a lot more, and I would not be surprised if this costs at least 2 million to do. So when it comes to clearing a gear enhancement, especially if you're tight on silver, I wouldn't recommend doing it through accessories unless you are kind of bloated in your silver and it doesn't bother you that much. But it will cost you more than the average 15 to 20 million if you're solely doing this on accessories. So I just want to see what this cost me. 1.9 million. So pretty close, but I have seen it cost upwards to 3 million depending on what the top end range. There's some randomness because when you're upgrading pieces, it can fail to upgrade, and like this is just randomness there. So that cost me 1.9 million, and then for a 6-star piece, obviously this cost me about or how many points this got me was about 340 for that, right? And so we need to get 4,775. So we're looking at about, depends if you're doing this on 5-star or 6-star, it does vary a little bit in whether or not you've already done the level 12. But let's say you're going from level 8 to 16 or something like that. That's like 400 points on a 6-star or about 300-ish points on a 5-star. So to get that 4775, that's going to be like 12 pieces essentially of 6-star gear, or I guess probably closer to like 16 on the 5-star pieces, right? And so if it takes you about 1 to 2 million per one of that, then that kind of gives you an idea of how much it might cost you. Okay. Now, when it comes to other items, and I've recently been starting to gear, I have my Marius, right? So I've been recently starting to gear him. And there are some pieces here that I am considering upgrading to, especially these boots, actually. I'm considering upgrading to level 16, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. Speed boots are something that I definitely go out of my way. That only cost me 520k. That was pretty lucky. Actually, so that was a pretty easy set of points here on a 6-star piece. But typically, boots are the first thing that I look at upgrading. Like, do I have any characters with boots, with speed boots that I need upgrading from 12 to 16? Right? That's kind of the things most of my characters do, right? But when it comes to looking for gear, I would tend to go for that first. Like, is there any good pieces of speed boots that I own? Especially, I'm going to rank priority like 6-star here. I'm going to move my head out of the way again, just so you guys can see the full inventory screen here. But yeah, typically 6-star speed boots. What do I have? Like, what's in my inventory that could use an upgrade? Or even equipped. Can I don't know if I can actually sort by levels that's already pre-leveled. I'm not sure if I can do that or not. Hide fully reworked, set filters. Okay, so Slayer, right? Is this a good piece? Not really, right? I kind of look at the piece individually. Like, are these good? Is there good stats on it? There's a lot of crit rate on that. So this is something that I probably would end up using, right? I would prioritize, obviously, gear that you have equipped on your characters that seem good. Use that, get those to level 16 first. But like right here, I'm looking at this. These are really good stats, right? I got this recently on my last siege. So I'm going to like, okay, take this to 12. You know, I might ascend it once just to double check. We got some more crit damage. That's fine. What am I going to get on this? Defense. I mean, I can always re-roll that later. This is not really relevant to gear enhancement, but I'm just trying to see it could be a good piece. You know, this is probably a piece that I'm going to use anyways, right? That's a lot of attack in general. We have some good stats across the board. Yes, I know it's like it's not all into crit rate. It could be better, but that's a pretty good piece, right? It didn't cost me that much. We have another one over here, but this one's not as good. We have flat defense. Would I still use this? It doesn't have crit rate on it. Do any of these have crit rate? Because I like to cap my crit rate on attacker champions kind of typically. So I'm kind of looking at whether or not these are worth taking up to. That's flat attack. When it comes to non-speed boots, we'll talk about that as well, though. Merciless, is that a decent piece? Stats into HP flat. I don't really like that either. And what else do I have that I could upgrade? This one has crit rate. We could get actually, this one's actually not bad. Maybe I'll take that to 16 as well. Another stone skin boots. It did go into crit rate, so that's not bad. 1.2 million. So that's pretty average. I think like 1 to 1.5 million for a level 16 piece is pretty average. If you get a lot less, like I think it got 600k or something on one of them, that is pretty good. Any of these other ones, perception's a good set as well, but I don't know if I have any other boots that I really need to upgrade just now. So we're going to move on to some other gear, right? And typically, if you don't have 6-star gear, you can include 5-star gear as well, just for the sake of the video, because you know I have a lot of 6-star gear probably. That I'm going to go into substats speed. So I'm looking for basically any gear at this point, but I am going to scroll to the bottom because I do find the better gear that I'm looking for is also going to maybe include speed in general. In this case, I might be looking for some attacker-based gear. Do I have any speed and crit rate gear that I'd like to take up to 16? That's the question. I actually don't want to include boots at this point either, so let's just do all of that minus the boots. Scroll back to the bottom. Let's see what we got. And I do have a lot of gear that's kind of already 16. There's some feral gear here that might be worth it. This one has a speed double roll already into speed. So let's take it up to 8 first. Is this a trash piece of gear? Maybe it's good. We got one more into speed. Okay, I'm going to test it to 12 and then to 16. Maybe? Maybe? Oh, 23 speed. Can we get another speed? Speed. Damn it, flat attack. So that kind of sucks. But sometimes you're gambling as well. But that's still pretty good. 23 speed is pretty good on a helmet for Feral. Feral is a good set. I actually love Feral because it has accuracy and speed, some of the best stats in the game anyways. So that was okay. This one's actually not too bad as well. 17% crit is really good. There's a little bit of speed on here. Wondering if I can roll this up as well. So I tend to go... goddamn, that flat defense. I'm actually going to test this. Do I go into crit rate? Okay, that wasn't so good. It wasn't really worth it. But sometimes you are just having to gamble a little bit on your gear pieces. There's crit. Oh, that's nice. Accuracy, crit rate, and speed. Let's roll that up to 8. I do like the feral set. We did not get any speed, but it's not forgotten. It is. That's a lot of crit though. So I might just use this as a crit piece, honestly. Wow, 29% crit rate. Interesting. That is a lot on a piece. So that had different value. I tend to like items that have both, for attackers anyways, or anyone that's a nuker, to have speed and crit rate on the same piece. I do prefer that, honestly, because you do have to get yourself up to 100% crit, and sometimes that can be pretty challenging. This one's actually a pretty good piece as well. Shame that it goes rolled into the flat. But it's not a completely lost item. 12% crit rate. Can we get maybe one speed roll? That would... Oh, two. Okay, more crit rate. Might as well roll this up to 16 too. I think I started around 275 million. We got a lot of crit here. Unfortunately, it's only one piece of speed. Let's move on to see if there's any good Merciless. We do have some crit rate and Merciless that could be viable as well. So let's go up there. Those are the things that I look out for. Now, if you don't want to do both crit rate... Oh, that's not very good, actually. Well... I need more Merciless pieces upgraded in general. That's the problem. God damn, double in resistance. That was... I don't think I'm going to take this one up to 16. I think sometimes I'm willing to take it up to 8 or 12 and then just kind of dip after that. Flat, HP, don't like that. And so at this point in time, like, I wonder how much I'm already at. Like, I got this already up just by doing some of those feral pieces. I'm already honestly almost there. Like, I'm surprised. Like, they're almost at 3,300 points. And I spent maybe 8 million gold? 8 million silver, sorry. Like, it doesn't seem that I even really spent all that much, right? And then rank, let's go back, rank. And I'll just do speed as a substat, right? Because this could be useful for support champions as well. So, again, I kind of want to scroll to the bottom, check out my 9-piece sets, and what do I even have that's available. There's a bunch of Mercurial here. For the sake of the video, though, I am going to kind of filter by legendary. There are obviously good purple pieces, but I want to focus on some of my best pieces. And actually starting at the top with my mythical items that I might have as well that has speed. We have a double speed stat there with that feral piece, so let's maybe try that as well. Now, so for in this case, when I'm looking just specifically for speed stat items, I'll probably only roll it to level 8 and then I'll pass, right? Since it didn't go into speed at all, that's going to be a bit of a pass for me. That's a double flat stat. I don't really like that either, so I think we're going to move up a little bit and see what else we got. We got some crit damage and we could try and roll this up. I don't use supersonic that often. Didn't roll into speed, so I'm going to pass that as well. So again, this could be a good way just to get points for level 8 and then move on. Whether you decide to sell it or not, that's entirely up to you. This one's, oh, wow. Instinct, speed, and crit rate. Okay. What are we going to get? We the exact opposite of the stats we wanted, but who knows? I'll try to 12. Okay, it went to speed. It's not, I'm going to take it to 16. That cost me over 1 million. We got into crit. Okay, so it's okay. I mean, we technically got 2 rolls into speed. 17 speed is nothing to scoff at, so I'm going to keep that piece for just now. We do have speed and crit rate here on a protection. Now, I would have preferred that to roll into speed as the red stat. Oh, it's also too flat. I didn't even notice that before I rolled it. I don't really like that much. Let's see, move up. What else do we got? We got some flat defense relentless that I'm not going to use. Okay, so now I'm going to move on to my legendary pieces and kind of do the same thing. Like, what else do I got? What do I got that I could roll up? Are any of these 12 worth going up to 16? Not that I see. Depends on how many rolls into speed that I would get. There's a helm here with 6 speed, helm here with 6 speed as well. With some accuracy on this one, maybe. So we could. I don't like the flat defense, but yeah, okay, never mind. Nothing rolled into speed. We could do it again here just in case, right? If we can get a quad speed roll, that would be absolutely amazing. Nope, we got it one time. I might take it to 12 just out of sheer shits and giggles. Nope. Okay, so that was a bit of a waste there. Speed 6 speeds. So that's always good for 6-star gear to start on 6 speed. We did not roll into that either. Okay, so again, I'm just kind of testing the gear to see whether or not it's of any value. We're going to move on a little bit here, moving up to, I think Feral's basically all done at this point. I don't yeah, some of these level 12s were not necessarily worth upgrading. This is stuff that I'm gonna have to sell off, which I just haven't sat down and done on my account in a little while here. I'm just checking the gear pieces to see if any of these were actually, in fact, worth taking up to 16, and I don't think that they are. We're gonna move up a little bit. No speed. The bolster pieces, maybe. I do like the bolster set. There's some speed there. Let's see. Nope, didn't roll into where I wanted to go. The helm could still roll into speed. Let's try it one more time. Nope, we went to defense percent. Defense percent here with flat attack and flat. I don't really like that actually. So I'll test it for the speed, but I don't really. I'll only go to 8, right? Like I don't. Maybe it's doubles. Nope, it didn't. some of the worst stats here. Instinct. Is there anything else that's worth it here? Level 8, level 12. Not really. 8 accuracy main chest pieces. Accuracy. Lots of accuracy stone skin pieces. Not really. Let's see. Speed, no speed rolls. What about this one? Maybe we could test this one as well. Oh, okay. Maybe. Oh my god, triple speed. Okay, so at this point, yeah, I would always go into it. Just you never know, right? Oh my god, guys, we got a quad speed roll stone skin sword. Okay, 28 speed without a glyph. Oh my god, I think it's funny because I think the whole purpose of stone skin is not necessarily to go first, unless you go for a 6-piece stone skin set where you get 2 turns of it. But by and large, you want to be a little bit slower, I think, in PvP when you're using a stone skin set because you're assuming that they're just going to hit into you. But there we go. That's still a lot of speed as a standalone item anyways. So these are the kinds of things that I look for when I'm upgrading different gear pieces, because I think some of the best gear in the game that you're going to be upgrading is going to contain some degree of speed, I think, because this is a speed-based game. You tend to want to have your characters at like a bare minimum of 200 speed. Most of my characters are even bordering like 250 speed. And then some of your support champions are going to want like 300 plus, right? And so that's why I think looking out for speed as your subset gives you a good idea of some of the gear pieces that you're going to want to upgrade for gear enhancement. So I hope some of this helped. I don't know where we're sitting at now with our event. I think we're pretty close. I basically just need to upgrade like 1 or 2 more pieces. I might just go through some of my existing characters and see if anything needs to get bumped up to 16. And then it looks like I'm probably going to get away with maybe about 15 million silver for this event. So it gives you a bit of an idea of how much it costs to clear those. Now, I did it mostly with 6-star gear. So if you are running 5-star gear pieces, also I did that accessory, which was quite expensive, that you might be able to get away with this for about 20 million if you're mostly using 5-star gear. Try to use upgrade 6-star gear where you can first, because you're going to obviously get the most amount of points out of that if you're a little bit tight on your money. Otherwise, I only upgrade gear during gear enhancement. So that's why I have so much silver, because I only do it during gear enhancement. I very rarely upgrade it in other times because I try to double dip as much as I can, so I'm not actually getting low. That being said, I'm not really close to being low. And I think over time, especially when you're at the 6 to 9, I would say around 9 months for sure of playing Raid Shadow Legends, you should be having a decent kind of pool of silver. Don't waste it, right? Don't blow it on gear that you don't actually need to upgrade. So being a bit more careful on what you're upgrading is very important as well. Anyways, I hope that some of this was helpful. Let me know in the comments down below. But before we go, I do want to remind people that if you haven't started playing Raid yet, or you want to make a new alt account, download using the QR code in the top right to get an armor that returned absolutely free. And these 3 amazing epics, Allure, Tagore, and Ruella at account level 10, 20, and 30. And don't forget, you can also get this amazing Void Legendary Support Champion. Void Legendaries are very rare. Use the promo code Desert Queen within the first 48 hours of a brand new account. That's it for me, everybody, and I'll see you all on the next video. And if you like this video, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and you'll be greatly helping out the channel. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys on the next one.